You are now watching the Joe and Fifi TV show. And I've done it yet again. This is my 4th time trying to make this video.
You don't want to use that last one?
It kept clipping. See, I'm so used to using my GoPro, and my GoPro makes making videos a lot easier. I don't know what happened, but it didn't work the way that I thought it was going to work. And we gave some really good information. So now I got to start over yet again. Yeah, man. All right. This video is brought to you in part by Western Flyer Express, where life is good and the miles just keep coming and coming and coming. Big shout out to the Timms family. Yeah, Timms Racing. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. And by the way, if you like to watch Street Outlaws, yeah, check out that white Mustang old Chuck be driving. Boy, Chuck be driving the mess out that Mustang, boy. Woo! Anybody who knows me knows I love racing. You know, I do a little racing here and there. Yeah. Big shout out to the King Ranch Hayabusa sitting at the house. Okay, that's not what this video is all about. Hey, David Ellison, man, big shout out to you. He's one of our subscribers, and he requested this video. And yet again, I'm going to try to do this yet again. All right, Mr. David, you want to know. Mr. David wanted to know how to run a team. Now, I'm not too sure how to interpret that. So I'm just going to interpret it. I'm going to answer it the best way I can. Okay, Mr. David? All right, Mr. David. I'm going to assume that you're already a team. Or you're planning. I'm going to assume that you're planning to go team. Or you're thinking about going team. And if you're not already a team, so this is what you want to find out. You need to find out, first thing first, which one of you can drive at night. Like, who's stronger at driving at night? Whoever's the best night driver should drive at night. Okay? And Mr. David, the reason why that is because I'll use myself for example. As great of a driver as I am, you know, I suck at driving at night. I can't do it. Like, the sun goes down, and then there's a time, like when the sun is like gone, like as the sun goes down, then there's a clock that begins in my head, and then the sun disappears, and then after that, there's something that happens, and I'm like, yeah, never. As long as I can remember, I've never been a night driver. And when I did try to drive at night, man, Mr. David, I'll tell you, it's horrible. It's horrible. I'll drive for like 2 hours and then stop. Drive for 30 minutes, stop. You know, like, I can't do it. It's hard. And when you do that, instead of you getting your full 8 hours, you'll drive 9 hours, and then you'll only generate about 300, 400 miles, but that's neither here nor there. So you want your strongest driver, the strongest night driver should be the one that drives no matter what. So he goes, well, what happens if, the load comes out late and, listen. So Fifi and I, we run 12 to 12 shifts. 12 midnight to 12 noon. 12 noon to 12 midnight, okay? In the event that, let's just say, like, when Fifi ends her shift and it's like 8, 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock, it's early in the morning, I will run. And granted, you have a 14-hour clock. You have to know how to manipulate that clock. So I'll run for 4 hours, okay? I'll run for 4 hours, and then I will take instead of taking a 30-minute break, I'll take an hour break, or I'll take an hour and a half break, or I may even take a 2-hour break. And what that does is that will, let's go backwards. In 4 hours, you can run about 250 miles, okay? Granted, you're doing the speed limit.
40.
Huh?
240.
Okay, 240 miles. Excuse me. That's what happens when you have a wife that drives. They know everything. Okay. So yeah. So you bang out 4 hours of driving, 240 miles. You stop an hour to 2 hours. Okay, and then that will allow the time to kind of pass on. You get a little break, and then you drive another 4 hours. Okay, now what this does, this puts you in the evening time of shutting down. So now you can shut down, 8, you want to really shut down about 9:30. Man, it's already. Okay, so now I gotta hurry up. Okay, so you want to shut down close to midnight as possible. Okay, now what that does is, now this gives you another 30, 45 minutes to an hour, maybe. Even if you have to take another 2-hour break, that's okay. But you definitely want to make sure that the night driver starts, if not at midnight, as close to midnight as possible, so that they have a full day to drive starting at midnight. So depending on how they'll drive, they'll do the same thing that you did. They'll drive for 4 hours, take a hour break, 2-hour break, so that they're not ending too early. And that's the purpose of the 2 hour. If you're asking, well, why take a 2-hour break or an hour break instead of a 30-minute break? This allows time to kind of push forward a little bit so that you're not ending too early. Because the earlier that you end your shifts, you'll end up rotating around. So let's just say I'm the day driver, Fifi's the night driver, which she is. It's times where if 3 days in a row you're constantly shutting down earlier and earlier and earlier, before you know it, instead of you starting at nighttime or driving on your shift, now you're driving on the second shift, or vice versa. The second shift is now driving on the first shift. I hope I'm articulating that well. And so you don't want to put yourself in a position to drive on the shift that just doesn't belong to you, because you're not going to be as efficient. So that's that. So know your shift, know how to manipulate your hours, or stretch your time out a little bit. Make sure you do not, if you're the first shift driver, make sure you do not drive over midnight. Okay, don't do it. If you can, try not to drive over midnight. Don't go on duty over midnight. You want to make sure 11 o'clock is your cutoff time. At 11 o'clock, if you haven't already stopped and shut down, that you need to start looking for your shutdown point, so that by midnight hitting, you've already shut down, or you get, by 11 o'clock, if you haven't already shut down, you need to get it there. So 12 o'clock, you want your second shift to either have already started an hour ago or just starting. How many hours you say is good, Fifi, for you before midnight? If you start before midnight,
about 9 o'clock.
Okay, so let's just say in the real world situation that it doesn't work out exactly like I'm saying right now, which it doesn't always. 8 o'clock is perfect. 8 o'clock is a perfect time. Anywhere between 8 p.m. and midnight is perfect to start your second shift. Okay? Remember what I just said. Anywhere between 8 and midnight. That's perfect for the second shift to start. Okay? I'm trying to think of something prolific to say here. We talked about hours of service shortly yesterday, but hours of service is pretty much self-explanatory. If you have any questions, hit me up on in the email me. But it's pretty much self-explanatory. I don't know if you're a new driver, Mr. David, or anybody. I don't know if you're a new driver or not. If you are a new driver, practice on controlling your hours of service, making sure that you don't chase the miles, chase the time. Okay? If you chase the time and manipulate the time, the miles will pay you back later. Okay? Avoid 34-hour resets at all costs. And as a team, you don't want to be the team. Like, we've saved so many teams, and I'm not saying that you're not going to be in position to take a 34-hour reset, but if you're a team, you don't want to take a 34-hour reset. You just, if you're really chasing the bag, if you really want to get your money, you don't want to stop. Oh, I need to take a 34-hour reset because I didn't manage my time well. Yeah. Like, there are times where, even this week just passed, there are times where our hours were looking a little finicky. Yo, I called up Mr. Ernie, my DM, Mr. Ernie, big shout out. I called Mr. Ernie. I even dropped him some messages. Qualcomm is your best friend. Hey, Mr. Ernie, hours are looking a little finicky this week. Not too sure. Hey, help me out. Make sure that we don't take anything that may come back to bite us. Hey, and they adjust their loads. They adjust how they give us loads according to our hours. And like, I may take something and I'll say, I'll come back and call them and say, hey, Mr. Ernie, or, Casey, which is the planner. Hey, dude, why'd you give me that load? That load it's not enough. Say, hey, man, you said your hours was looking funny. Say, man, listen, we got this. If you're confident about your hours and you know your hours will come back, and you know how to manage your hours, you can really take more loads. You can take the loads that other teams and other drivers won't necessarily take. You may have to stop and take, like, if you take the load, let's just say your recap hours are coming back, you got 6 hours here, 5 hours there, but you have 2 hours in the kitty, you know what I'm saying? You in the bank, in the reserve. If you have hours in the reserve and you're a team, well, it's really good because let's just say I drive for 7 hours straight. But Fifi, her hours won't bounce back until midnight. Well, hey, I'll drive my 7 hours. I'll stop at 8, 9 o'clock. And we'll just wait until midnight. When midnight comes, boom, she's off to the races. She'll run whatever hours that she have, and if it gets to the point to where it looks like we may not be able to do this, I let them know a day ahead of time. Like, hey, I don't think we're going to make this load. Remember what I said in the hours of service video? It is okay to tell your driver manager, I can't do this. Your driver manager's not going to get mad at you. He might get mad at you. But it's better to say it beforehand versus waiting to the last minute. Okay? So when you're a team, I'm not going to say the hours of service rules change, but when you're a team, you can be a lot more flexible. So staying within that 12 to 12, staying on your shift, stretching out the hours, taking those hour breaks or those 2-hour breaks, allowing time to kind of catch up so that the second shift doesn't have to drive too early or end their shift too early. Those things help you out a lot. I hope I articulated this well. If I did not, you know what? I'll try to do it again. Or email me and I'll give you my phone number so I don't, what's bad about these videos? I'm looking at this time here and I'm like, okay, hurry up, say it, get it out. All right, that's it. I need to take a nap because I haven't been asleep. Okay. Peace out!